Well, hi, Amy. Welcome to What I Wish I Knew.
Hey, Christina. Thank you so much. I'm so happy to be here. Welcome to What I Wish I Knew.
Can you believe we have a podcast?
It's our one, two, three, four, fifth baby. I had to count how many kids we had just now in my head. Our
Amy, I
fifth
think
baby.
you might need another coffee. Our- we almost didn't have a podcast if I hadn't convinced Amy.
Mm-hmm.
I can't
But
believe you
we
still
also,
have the text conversation.
oh yeah, I have the receipts. I don't throw anything out. I'm a hoarder, but also a very organized hoarder, so I can find everything.
Yes,
Um, so yes, I have the receipts. But also, we wouldn't have a podcast if we hadn't started the Instagram account
true
back
story.
in 2021,
I know. I honestly
right?
never thought we would have, at the time of recording, we have 12,600 followers, and that blows my mind daily because it's like, where did you people come
Oh my God.
from?
I'm pretty sure I remember
Yeah.
when we hit 1,000 or something. We were like, oh my God, that's so incredible. Like, how cool. Because all we were doing was putting out stuff that we were interested in, of like topics that
Yeah.
we didn't know about and were learning about as we became new parents, and realized that there was so much that we did not know,
Oh my God.
that we were shocked by, that we felt bamboozled. Like, why didn't anyone tell us this? Like, we always use the example
Furious
of like,
texting.
oh my God. We always use the example of like bleeding after having a baby. Like, no
Yes.
one told you you'd bleed for 6 weeks, but there's so much more throughout pregnancy of like what you go through and what's actually
Yes.
normal. And then having a baby, a newborn baby, is so hard. And like everyone makes it look so easy. And it's like not easy.
I know.
And
And then trying to breastfeed on top of that. I was just like, oh my God.
so hard. Yeah.
Oh,
We
I
gotta
was
do
like, I
something.
have to tell somebody.
Right.
We have to put
So
something online.
we were kind of just like shouting into the void for a little while,
Yeah.
I feel like. But then we just started getting more people engaged and things like that. And well, it was really a slow burn, but it's been something that we both cared about and have continued to care about. And that's why it stayed alive.
Mhm.
And now here we
I know.
are.
We still celebrate every 100 followers that we
We
get.
do. Yeah.
Like, one of
We're
us will
like,
send each other a text and be like,
yeah.
12.6.
Yeah. No, I still remember
Yes.
like, I'm pretty sure when we hit 10,000, that was a cool one. But I remember it was like 11.7. We were like, yeah, 11.7 thousand followers. Like, it's still every follower to me, not because of the number. I don't care. We're not influencers. It doesn't matter from that perspective. But it's that, number one, it means that what we're putting out there is interesting to people and
Yeah.
helpful. And they're willing to give us one sliver of their time in a very crazy social media world, in a very crazy world, period,
Yeah.
of which social media is a small sub segment, of which our account is something they're choosing to see and read and hopefully listen
Yeah.
to. And that's
Yeah.
just,
And also like I think we've taken kind of a different route than a lot of other parent accounts because like one, we wanted to always be based in fact. Like we
mm,
believe in science. I think that's like one. I'm gonna just put that like pin in the ground. Is that what we
yeah,
would say? What's the saying? Put that whatever.
stake in the ground,
I'm putting that stake in the ground.
a pin.
We're gonna make it bigger. We'll make it a stake. Yeah, stake in the ground that like I wanted this. We wanted this to be based in fact and like led to articles. So if you wanted to ever learn more, you could, right? And where was I going with this? I don't know,
That
but
it's different
that's
because
different.
so
Yes.
many other of the accounts, I think, which is not like a dig on any other
No.
account doing what they want to do. It was just different than what we wanted to do, which is we didn't want it to be anecdotal and like purely feelings based. Although at What I Wish I Knew, we love feelings,
We have lots of
we have
them.
lots of feelings. But and parenting is a lot of feelings, but it's also a lot of facts and a lot of information that like is rooted in science and real things. It's not just made up.
Yeah.
I mean, like, because we never did tell this story. I feel like we just like
Never.
started a podcast and then we were like, here it is.
Yeah. I mean, not that people have to care why we started it personally, but I think, I don't know, the reason we started it is the reason that our conversations are the way that they are, and the why we're trying to get the people that we are and trying to like disseminate the information that we are, which is like, why is no one talking about all this stuff?
I know. Well, it originated because I prefer to yap than write. Like, I'm not a writer. I'm a yapper.
I can't say that I like one more than the other because I like to do both.
You're a really good writer. That's why I give it all to you.
Well, you're a good talker. That's why people cry on your shoulder.
All the time. All the time. But I just figured it would be so cool to have experts come on and talk, and then we could pull what I wish I knew's out of it. Because a lot of people don't have access to experts. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, when am I ever going to talk to a minimally invasive gynecological surgeon?
And now that you can say gynecological surgeon, what a feather in your cap.
Right?
Or
Add
I
that to
feel
my
like they don't
resume.
have access. They don't have access to experts, or they have access to too many experts, and they have no idea what to listen to, or who to listen to, or why. I think all the guests that we've had, like, we have a serious level of legitimacy that we
Totally
require, and we need to make sure that they are going to be like advocating for the stuff that we believe in. By way of like values and how we approach parenting and what we want to do on the platform and all that. So,
well, that was the whole reason that we started What I Wish I Knew to begin with. It wasn't just because we were like, well, one, we were pissed that we were finding a lot of stuff out. But I felt like when I went onto social media, a lot of it was like theory based, or like other parents that had learned stuff and they were sharing it versus like, okay, where's the actual article? Like, I want to know the fact, and then I want it to link to an article that is like a medical article, or like something that the Cleveland Clinic has put out. You know what I mean? Or something along those lines. And so to interview experts made sense.
yeah. Well, because we certainly weren't going to come out here being like, this is the way you should parent. We're out here being like, someone tell us how to parent.
Literally. I mean, the pivots I've had to take parenting has been nuts. But
I know.
That's another story for another day.
Yeah. No, I think we've learned a lot. I think
But it took some convincing. You took some convincing.
Months. Also, we were both massively pregnant, waddling around the world, trying to keep toddlers alive, trying to keep ourselves alive. And you were like, let's do a podcast. I was like, LOL, no. And then it was like, I think like a week went by and you were like, so like, I was thinking for this podcast that we're going to do, And I was like, LOL, no, tell me more though. And then like a week later, you were like, okay, I have the first guest for our podcast. And I was like, LOL, okay, that sounds fun. Let's do it. I wasn't that hard of a sell.
No, it wasn't. But it also helped that our first podcast guest was our precious Dr. Diamond.
Dr. Diamond.
I freaking love her.
Love her. Favorite part about her episode, this wasn't one of my like top 3 takeaways that I kind of reflected on in thinking about our whole season, but I do love that we started this whole journey with someone who was basically like, there is no one way to parent. Because that was like the foundation for so many other conversations we had around parenting. And she was basically like, there's no right way to parent. I, as a pediatrician, before I was a parent, like was a doctor one way. After I became a parent and understood what it was like, the decisions you're faced with, what you have to contend with, how it feels, how hard it is, I actually like kind of changed my approach a little bit. So instead of telling you there's a right and wrong way, I give you your options and I help you understand what the best option is for you, and whatever option you pick, that you do it in the safest, best way that you can for your family. She's really wise. I mean, we were lucky that we happened to already know her and have a relationship with her, and that, you know, she was willing to be our first guest on this podcast, that we were like, is anyone going to listen besides our moms? Or like,
my mom doesn't even listen.
My mom does.
Oh, yes. And thank you for listening.
I know. Shout out to the Anne. And I'll never forget when Andrew, my husband, reflected back something he'd heard in our podcast for the first time, and I was like,
I'm sorry, what?
We were feeding Marie, and I said something about her chewing or something, and he was like, gagging is good. Say it to yourself, gagging is good. And I was like, that's the hottest thing you've ever said to me. Like, thank you for listening. I know.
Of all the people I thought wouldn't listen, Andy listens. That makes me like my heart swell.
I know. Yeah.
My absolute heart swell. It's been a journey. And honestly, like, we didn't know where this was going to go at all. Mm-hmm. Right. So we were like, let's just shoot our shot. And Amy, you hit the moon.
I know. Jenny Best. I think I cried when they emailed me. Like, I was like, this is
We were
so
freaking.
It was so exciting. Well, one of the things I love about how we operate is that, like, from where we began, which was literally like, is anyone going to listen besides our moms, to where we are now, which is thousands of listens, like, so just incredible guests, etc. Is we just like went for it. The worst someone can say is no, and like, I don't know. I feel I followed Solid Starts for so long, and I used them as my Bible for Miller, and I knew I was going to use them again for Marie. And they just have a huge platform, and they're so smart, and like the whole team is so smart. And we were just like these like nobodies, kind of being like, "Hey, will you come be on our podcast?" And they were gracious enough to respond right away and be like, this sounds great. Like, what are you about? Tell us, you know, like, this sounds like it would be fantastic. And Jenny was fantastic and so friendly and warm and smart. And like, yeah, that was like, that felt so important to me, like in a good way.
Well, it felt validating
so
too for what we're doing. You know what I mean? That like, it is impactful, which is kind of, I don't know. I don't want to say like my life's purpose, but it feels nice to do something that feels impactful. You know what I mean?
Totally.
Not that being a parent isn't enough, but like parenting is hard. Parenting's really hard. Not that this isn't hard. Just when you're comfortable with parenting, you have to learn new stuff.
Yeah.
Right? Like, where Anna's at 5 years old, I'm like, oh my God, I have to start having conversations with her about things like her body safety or bullies, or I had to call. I was like, when do you call 911? Like, oh my God, I can't believe I need to have these conversations. But I wouldn't even be prompted if we didn't like know some of these experts, and they kind of filled those gaps in for me.
Yeah. Yeah. We're building a community, which was always the goal, but a community to, initially it was like a community to support us. Like, we were like, well, we can learn so much from these conversations. And if we're going to learn, surely other people will. And we have built, I think, the start of a really wonderful community of supportive people, smart, informed, caring, funny. Almost every one of our episodes, people are like, oh, I wish you were nearby so we could get a glass of wine. I'm like, me too. Maybe in season 2.
I'll manifest it.
Yeah.
I'll keep manifesting.
Okay, let's talk a little about what some of our favorite takeaways and episodes and learnings were.
Yeah, like some of the things that I repeat back to people all the time. You already mentioned one, because I actually did it the other night. Gagging is good. I say that
is good
all the time. Like, I gave Olivia a tomato the other night, which has like a bunch of different textures, right? And then she was gagging a little bit, and Valentina, my cousin who's here from Italy, like freaks out, gets up, tries to get her, and I was like, nope, gagging is good, gagging is good, gagging is good. And I'm just like,
gagging is good.
It's on repeat. I feel like I need to get a shirt that says it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but I also feel like in the wrong context, a little sexual. So we're talking about babies eating food. Gagging is good. People, get your mind out of the gutter. Okay. But gagging is good. No, totally.
Gagging is good. That was a big one. It's been super relevant for me, for sure.
I agree. I remember Emily, one of my best friends, I like turned her on to Solid Stars because I was like, you have to do this. And she told me, I don't remember when this was. It must have been when August was a year or something like that. But she basically said that like introducing new food to her was so unexpectedly joyful for her. It was like such a positive experience. She loved it. She loved doing it. She loved how August reacted. She was so proud of how she ate, all these things. Like, it was like experience that could normally be like kind of scary or like nerve-wracking, or, you know, it is messy. You know, there's all these negatives that could be associated. And she was like, it was just so fun. I loved doing it. And I was like, yeah.
I know. I love going in the app and like typing in different foods and being like, okay, how should I prepare it?
Oh my God.
It's like, it gives you so many ideas.
And the videos and the pictures, because they're like about the size of 2 human fingers. And I'm like Andrew's 2 human fingers, like my 2 fingers. And there's a picture and I'm like, oh, okay, that works. Like, I need to know. I don't want to interpret. That's why I need recipes when I cook. I can't just like a dash of this, a dash of this. I'm like, say Andrew's the same way. If it's like a quarter a quarter teaspoon. Like, we're like, do we have a quarter teaspoon? Kelly's like,
this is
use
why
your
we're
fingers.
friends,
I'm like,
though.
my fingers.
This is why we're
No.
friends. Because I'm just like, I look at a recipe and I'm like, all right, I get it. Close the book. And I'm like, all right.
Oh my God. No. Andrew brought me a cookbook holder, like
Smart.
a really nice one from Crate and Barrel. And it has like a thing that covers it to keep it clean. So you can put it right next to where you're cooking. And it's really nice.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So that episode.
That episode was great. What's one of yours?
One that I loved was with Dr. Arati, the minimally invasive gynecologic surgeon. One of the things I loved that she said was, if you think there's a problem, there's a problem. She was like, it does not matter if you are me, who's a literal genius, like an actual scientific genius. She still was like telling her doctors, there's a problem. I think there's a problem. My baby won't eat. And the doctors are like, that's not, your baby's just, it's a lazy baby. Remember, they were like, he's just lazy. And she's like,
babies are not lazy.
No, there's something wrong. If you think there's a problem, there's a problem. And sometimes that means the outcome could be that there actually is a problem, such as in her case, like he had a tongue tie. He needed something to be fixed before he could eat well. And sometimes there's not actually anything wrong, but having a conversation about it and having someone listen to you and validate your concerns and either explain why you don't need to be worried or, sometimes that's all you need. But you should never feel dismissed. You should never feel unheard. You should never feel ashamed or judged or made to feel like you're dumb because you think something's wrong either with yourself or with your kids, because you're advocating for both all the time. And I thought it was really powerful. She said that as a woman of her position, which is like, again, an extremely smart, educated, medical professional. She's like, if you think there's a problem, there's a problem.
Yeah. I mean, that's something we all need to take to heart. The amount that I've had to fight for my own care in my lifetime. Agreed. And that is also so huge, I think, for so many women across this country, is how often we have to advocate for our own care and then also our kids' care.
No one else is going to do it.
No one else is going to do it. It sucks. It kind of sucks. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah.
Like, I wish it was easier, but we'll just have to burn down the whole system if we want to do that and just start over.
In season 2, Christina.
Okay. All right. We'll do it then.
What's another one you liked?
One of the ones that I mentioned a lot is actually one of the episodes you weren't on. It was with Jennifer Hanway. She taught me that menopause is actually a moment. Menopause is not like, how everybody says like menopausal care. Menopause is actually a moment, and you're either like perimenopausal, which is the time leading up to menopause. Then you like stop getting your period. That's menopause. And then it's postmenopausal. And I think that was a really interesting fact, because that I feel like is a common misuse of the term.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. Going through menopause is how people, I feel like, respond to it, which could be like years. Like, I've been going through menopause.
Truly.
I'm getting hot flashes. I'm going through menopause. Yeah, no, totally.
Well, and it's like perimenopause has become this huge TikTok topic. Like, everyone's talking about perimenopause now. And so I think like we're getting there, but there's just like the level of understanding for women's hormones, I think, is so huge. And so to like start with that fact, to start teaching people that menopause is a moment.
Yep.
Loved.
Well, and I mean, you've been crunchy since you came out the womb, but I feel like when you start talking about hormones or like hormone levels, all this stuff, I do think people interpret that as more like voodoo-y than scientific, which is the opposite, because hormone levels are literally like like measurements from your body. And so I feel like the more we talk about, in general, understanding your body, like having an accurate understanding of what's happening in your body, getting more regular checkups, like even when we're talking to Haley, the nutritionist, like the kind of panels you should be doing when you're trying to get pregnant, all these things, like there really doesn't seem like there's a consistent standard of care or expectation of what information should be known about your own body. And hormones are one of those. And that's come up in multiple conversations, not just the one with Jennifer. We talked about that with Dr. Oric. We talked about that with Dr. Arati. We talked about that with Haley. They really affect so much.
And that's why you have to advocate for it yourself, right? To get those panels done.
Yeah.
because your hormones also change like all the time, and you can change it, you can impact it with like how you eat, what your sleep cycles are like, with if you're getting sunlight in the morning. Like there's so many things that you can do, and it's just, again, we have to advocate for our own healthcare to make, because like I don't want to be a depressed older lady. Like I just do not want to be that person. Sob. Speaking of Haley, though, I think that episode, first of all, that's our most popular episode, which was interesting to learn because it was so specific to like prenatal nutrition.
Agree. Very niche topic. Whereas we had other episodes that I feel like were much broader in scope. But Haley's by far has the highest listenership and engagement and shares on social and stuff like that. Another one that I really liked, which was earlier in the season, pretty early on, was with Heather Mayone, who was a therapist.
Yeah.
We were talking about parenting with her, and she was like, yeah, I mean, on the outset, it doesn't seem that great. Like, how would you like to give up your freedom, your money, your autonomy, your independence, your body, your energy? Sound good? Like, for 18 years. Does that sound good? And I just thought that was a really funny way of, talking about parenting, which is also true. But the point that I really loved about that episode was when she was talking about how parenting is both a blessing, a gift, and an extreme disruption. And that it is so common for her to see parents who basically think they're the only ones for whom parenting is hard.
Yeah.
Like everyone is sitting there being like, is it this hard for everyone? And the answer, of course, is a resounding yes, but it's not okay to be talking about it. That, people don't talk about it that way. And so everyone feels like they're the only ones struggling with something. Like it's so easy for someone else. It's so easy. They don't, they're having a great time on vacation. Like their kids sleep great. Their kids never yell. Their kids don't hit,
Their
First
kids
of all,
doesn't want to throw them in the trash.
They're going to throw you in the trash. Exactly.
Yeah.
So number one, you don't know what happens in someone else's family is the first thing. But number two, the more we talk about what is hard for us, the more we make it okay for other people to talk about what is hard for them.
I feel like all I've been doing like the past year and a half is bitching. So about how hard things are.
I mean, I don't think that's what it is. First of all, it was like justified. You've had a hard time. And second of all, I feel like if you don't have a place where those types of feelings can land, they just stay inside you. And
Truly.
That's no good.
Truly.
I mean,
well, I think that's something we've talked about a lot for our own platform is like, how do we not be too negative?
Yeah.
Because like, it can be really easy to fall into the negativity trap because it is hard, and it's also wonderful.
Right. Well, it's
at
like
the same time.
Someone told me that it's so much more acceptable to complain about your kids than it is to brag about them. And I think that's true, which is sad. Because like we should be celebrating our kids and the things they're doing well or the things that we are doing well. Like I'm proud of myself. Like think about all the times, Christina, that we talk about like, oh, I lost my temper. I yelled at my kid. Like I'm so frustrated today. I'm so tired. Like, these things are not going right. We didn't behave well. The kids didn't behave well. But it's not very often that we would come to each other and be like, oh my God, like Miller tried 2 new foods tonight and I didn't even have to ask him. We never say that. That feels weird to even say, but why aren't we like celebrating? You know what? I did not lose my temper. I've never said that. Like
it's funny because like I'll say it to people around me. Like yesterday, Anna was upset because her shoes were dirty or whatever, and she started throwing a fit. And like I gave it a second, and then I was like, okay, how are we going to calm ourselves down? Do you want to count to 10? Do you want to listen to some music, or do you want to stomp your feet? And like after that, I went to Valentina because she's in the house, and I was like, I did a good job. But like I'm not going to like text you. Do you know what I mean? I'm just going to like when you're with a person, it's much easier. Like maybe you tell Andrew, like, oh my God, did you notice that Miller ate all that food?
Right.
But we're not
Exactly.
shouting it out. You know what I mean? And I think that's the biggest thing, is that on social media, I find that tech is a bane of a lot of existence for parents, because all you do is see people being happy on vacation or bitching. There's no like in between moments.
Yeah, I agree. I like to talk to people, and I also have been known to be an oversharer. But it took a lot. It took more than I thought it would take, given how comfortable I am reaching out to people. Like, it was harder than I thought to admit that things were not easy. And in fact, I've talked a little bit, like when we were on Candace's, Dr. Wood's podcast, I talked a little bit about how when Miller was born, it took me several months to connect with him, like at all. Like I just was so disconnected from him. I did not feel like this like newborn bliss. I did not feel like, oh my God, like overwhelming love. Like this is my child. And it took me years to be able to even acknowledge to myself that that's how I felt. Now I can talk about it openly and it doesn't upset me. It's just like it's just how I felt, and that's fine. But it really took years for me to feel like that was not super fucked up. Yeah. Like super fucked up. Because everyone talks about when their baby pops out and like they're like there's a picture of you holding Anna like crying. And it's the most beautiful picture. And like when Miller came out,
there is.
I'm pretty sure it's your contact photo for me.
Did I?
I'll send it to you. It's super cute. No, you did have a kind of traumatic situation.
That's a story for another day.
It's a beautiful picture. I think when Miller came out, like literally Andrew and I both were so shell shocked. And Andrew was like, is his head going to look like that forever? Really coning. And the nurse was like, I've seen worse. And we were like, you've seen worse? What does that mean?
My child looks like an alien.
Yes. You know, I never at the time asked anyone I knew, like, did you feel that way? Because I thought I already knew the answer, which was no, I didn't. I love my baby immediately. So I just didn't ask.
And that's just years the right later, answer.
Yeah. And quote, years unquote, later, I'm like, no, it's not. I'm not like broken because I felt that way. There are reasons I felt that way. And also, I had a second kid and felt totally differently. When she popped out, I was like, she's mine. This is mine. This is my daughter. And so, you know, how you feel is how you feel. And comparing it to anyone else or assuming that you know about someone else as a parent is just, it's busted.
Yeah. And what I think is interesting about how we've kind of done What I Wish I Knew is we actually never wanted to show our faces.
Yeah.
Because we didn't want to share.
Not want to show
actively
our faces.
Did not. Because, and the reason I'm talking about this is because you're talking about your own personal experience, Amy. I feel like that's the hard part of social media, is that you see this one person's experience and then you compare yourself to it all the time. And I couldn't find a parenting platform that did not have some dose of like their personal experience. I was like, no, just give me the facts. I just want the facts. Yeah. Like, and what I like about what we've done with the podcast is we use our kids as examples. We're like, but we're getting expert advice about that specific situation versus like, hey, I'm a parent and this is what I decided to do. No, it's like, this is what Dr. Siggy told me to do.
Yeah.
This is what Jenny Best from Solid Starts told me to do. You know?
Which doesn't mean we're going to do it. It means we are listening to what they recommend and we are going to weigh that information against our family, our lives, our kids, everything, and make the right decision for us. And the right decision for me may not be the right one for you, but without this information, we're all just flying blind. And I don't like to fly blind. I like to know information. So
like, I wanted to shout out to you, Amy, because you've learned so many new things with this podcast and you've taken it on with such gusto. I'm very proud of you.
Thank you. That's kind. I think it's been a lot more fun than I expected it to be.
You're welcome.
Yeah. I mean, I've always said that you were the trendsetter in our relationship. So you were always the cool one. So no reason to stop now.
Don't stop. Can't stop, won't stop.
Can't stop, won't stop.
What do people have to look forward to in season 2, do you think? Because like I have caught myself multiple times in this conversation wanting to mention an interview we've already done, and I'm like, oh no, can't talk about that yet.
I know. I know. We have so much goodness. So why don't we talk about topics that we know we're going to cover instead of people?
Fine. Deal.
We are going to cover things like relationships, like your relationship with your partner post bebés. We're going to talk about milestones for toddlers, like hitting milestones and what those look like and what they are. We're going to talk about C-sections.
Yeah.
That's a very niche topic, but also affects a fuck ton of people.
So many.
So many.
We're going to talk a little bit more about postpartum, and specifically the 6-week mark of postpartum.
Mm-hmm.
That'll be fun.
We're going to talk about being a working parent.
Oh, yeah.
What that means, leaving work, going back to work, working while being a parent.
So applicable.
What else are we going to talk about?
I think the last one is we're going to talk about girlhood and like the evolution of becoming a girl to woman. I'm not a girl, not yet a woman. Singing is not one of my things, but it's Amy's. She can also rap if we need her to.
Yeah.
I think season 2 is going to be really interesting, and it's wild to me that we have half of it like already planned out. It's July.
The girls have been busy. We've been busy.
Mm-hmm.
I'm proud of us. I think
I'm proud of it.
To whoever is still listening right now at the end of this episode, thank you. Thank you to everyone who shared the content, who has told us that it meant something to them, who has pitched us guests. We've gotten, incredible.
Yeah.
We've barely had to source anyone ourselves after the first couple, which is crazy. We've been just served these amazing people. So thank you. Thank you.
Seriously, thank you. And listen in for season 2. We're going to take a little break in August to like chill the fuck out.
Yeah.
Although, are we really going to chill? It's back to school.
No, because vacation with kids is not vacation, as everyone knows. But we're going to go out and do it anyway.
We're going to do it. We got this.